Hi, Joey.
I'm Frankie MacDonald. You're listening to the Comedeorological Weather Report on every Thursday nights at 11 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time and 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Terrible weather duo, Comedian plus Meteorology plus Comedeorological Weather Report with Joey Only. And Joey Only is another weatherman. He lives in Wells, British Columbia. And go check it on every Thursday night on YouTube live stream. And it's on Prince George radio station, Winnipeg radio station, Vancouver radio station. You say hi, Joey Only.
Hi, Joey.
I'm Frank down.
Well, just in time for St. Patrick's Day, crowds are coming by the dozens to get an up-close view at what some say is a piece of Irish folklore.
Some people in the Crichton area of Mobile say a leprechaun is taking up residence in their neighborhood. A leprechaun. NBC 15's Brian Johnson has more.
Curiosity leads to large crowds in Mobile's Crichton community, many of you bringing binoculars, camcorders, even camera phones to take pictures.
To me, it look like a leprechaun to me. All you gotta do is look up in the tree. Who else seen the leprechaun say yeah?
Eyewitnesses say the leprechaun only comes out at night. If you shine a light in its direction, it suddenly disappears. This amateur sketch resembles what many of you say the leprechaun looks like. Others find it hard to believe and have come up with their own theories and explanations for the image.
My theory is it's casting a shadow from the other limb.
Could be a crackhead that got hold to the wrong stuff, and it told him to get up in a tree and play a leprechaun.
We're going to get down to the bottom of this. Yeah, it's still on there, guy. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, man.
This guy helping to direct traffic says he's prepared for his encounter with the leprechaun. He's suited up from head to toe.
This wars off spells right here. This is a special leprechaun flute, which has been passed down from thousands of years ago from my great-great-grandfather who was Irish. I just came to help out.
Others just came to get lucky in hopes a pot of gold may be buried under this tree.
I'm gonna run a backhoe and uproot that tree. I want to know where the gold at. I want the gold. Give me the gold. I want the gold.
This is Brian Johnson, NBC 15 News.
People will do anything for a pot of gold. I mean, anything.
You know what I like? I like the amateur sketch of the leprechaun.
Yeah,
it looks like somebody got a really good look at it and got that good drawing out there.
Who did that? I want to know who sketched that.
I don't know. Maybe Brian sketched it.
Doodling.
That was a good story.
Well, whether it's hot, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather we got. Wait a minute. Well, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather, whether or not. There it is.
Good morning, Prince George. And good afternoon, Winnipeg. I am your host, Joey Only. This is the Comedeorological Report. Comedy plus meteorology equals Comedeorology. This is a show about how much the weather sucks in Canada. It's, there's a lot of sucky weather. I mean, it's really hot, but that's the thing. Is like Canadians are always, it's too hot. Well, pretty soon you'll be like, it's too cold. And you'll be like, it's too rainy. Well, it's not rainy enough. Well, you can never just quite get it right, can we? And, that's kind of what the premise of the show is. We're here with Frankie MacDonald, the world-famous weatherman himself, all the way out there in Sidney, Nova Scotia, and our team panel of comedeorologists, including, Joe Stover is just showing up. That's great. He's up there in Churchill, Manitoba. We got Brandon Houck, who's over there, as always, in Brooks, Alberta. He's the radio host there of the Real Country radio station. Always good to have him on the show. He's going on holidays very soon, and he's going to be on an airplane next week, so I don't think we're going to have him on the show next week. And what are we going to talk about? We're not going to be able to talk about weather without Ben and Houck. Well, maybe we can because we got Frankie MacDonald. But we also got on the show, sitting on our balcony in Victoria, British Columbia, Imogen Bailey and Pete Galanko, who's moved to Colorado. Galanko's in Colorado. We're going to have him on the show. Gabriel Berardo's in Ontario. We're going to have him on the show. That's pretty much everyone on the panel. Let's get to the most important thing of all. My friend, Frankie MacDonald, he's walking around in Sidney, Nova Scotia right now. I think he's outside A&W trying to talk to people as they're on their way to get team burgers and such. Frankie MacDonald. Frankie! How you doing so far?
I'm doing great so far. It's cooler in Sidney, Nova Scotia. They got humid air and cool air fighting back on the weekend and Monday. It's going to turn really hot all across eastern United States and central United States, especially Texas, where Trey Campbell is at. And Trey will probably show up later. And it's going to bring more hot weather all across Spain and Portugal and all these places. And right now, they're bringing a lot of windy, rainy, snowy in Chile, especially up in the mountains of Chile, bringing so much rain. And Venezuela, and all those places. And Brazil's really dry right now, except for far northern Brazil and up around South America, like Colombia. They're bringing a lot of rain right now. So Panama, Honduras, Costa Rica, El Salvador, and all these countries, and Guatemala, are bringing so much rain right now. They're bringing dangerous heat in the Pacific Northwest, including all the way up to Prince George, Fort Nelson, British Columbia, and all these places, even up in Yukon. They're bringing a lot of thunderstorms in Alberta right now. And then they got hot weather heading for Ontario as well. Then they got hot weather in Michigan, bringing a lot of, in central United States, bringing so much stormy weather and tornadoes there. A lot of thunderstorms and rain and things like this. Texas is so hot and dry lately. In Colorado and California is really causing a lot of fires right now in Southern California, and especially in forest areas right now. Japan's typhoon season is going to kick up in high gear later on in August and September. So it's Atlantic hurricane season as well. And they're bringing lots of cold weather in Australia, bringing a lot of stormy weather, a lot of rain, snow up in the mountains in New Zealand as well, because it's wintertime. New Zealand's in the middle of the winter, and they'll be starting to get daylight in McMurdo Station in the second half of August.
When it's winter in New Zealand, what do all the hobbits do? How do they handle the winter?
They must have found something.
They must have found something? Do they have giant hobbit caverns, indoor fireplaces, or do they use electric heat?
They got their own fireplace, especially Queenstown, New Zealand, and the mountain areas in New Zealand, like ski resorts and things like this. It's their middle of the winter right now. Days are getting longer there. Days are getting shorter here. Their spring starts on September 22nd, same day as our fall starts.
It's been really, really hot here, and we got thunderstorms. There's more now. It's 7 o'clock. Of course, you're in the show. We're recording the show on the 28th. And you're going to hear it in the Prince George on the 30th. That's kind of the point I've been trying to get off the top of the show, but for some reason I can't because I'm baked, I guess. And then you're going to not hear it until 2 days after that in Winnipeg. So this isn't current news. But currently, right now, there's more thunderstorms popping up in southern British Columbia. More cells becoming active as the evening gets on. And tomorrow looks like it's going to be pretty stormy. And a lot of those, and not a lot of rain, Frankie.
It's going to bring lots of thunderstorms, St. Louis, Vale, out thunder.
When's the heat going to die off in Western Canada, Frankie?
Pretty soon.
What's been going on in Russia?
That means it's really causing a lot of fires in Siberia lately. Their fall leaves going to change colors in northern Russia sometime in the second half of August, same with Dawson, Yukon, and up around Inuvik and Tatoyutuk, Northwest Territories, and those places.
How's the weather on Mars?
Right now, causing a lot of major sandstorms, but they don't have oxygen up there.
I don't think I want to go to Mars. I think 11,000. It showed up 11,000, 1,132,078. Welcome to the show.
Other people can go to Mars first. I'll let them go first. Even if they gave me a free ticket, I'd be like, I'll go first.
Yeah, the thing is, like, people think that it sucks and it's boring in their small town, wherever they live now. Right? They're complaining, like, nothing to do here. Like, let's go to Mars, fly around in a really boring spaceship for, like, 7 years. Get there, maybe not crash. It is Trey Campbell. Welcome to the show, 1,132,078.
Be that long because of that limit.
What is happening?
Yeah, I don't know. I saw Trey's face, and now, okay, we're gonna mute that because that's just not productive. What you been doing this week, Frankie? Been on any podcasts?
I was on for Angie TV for a little bit on Tuesday. Plus, I was on another podcast from a guy from UK as well. Plus, on and it's like a Bitsy TV. Plus, on Wednesday, I was on Facebook Show, and I was on another podcast called Ham Radio in New York City.
There he goes. Hey, Trey Campbell, down there in Houston, Texas. Haven't seen you in a long time. Can you hear me?
Okay,
I can.
cool.
Are you in a radio station right now?
Yeah, I'm kind of on the computer I'm on company computer.
You're like sneaking down the bottom there.
Yeah.
Guys are walking by, trying to hide.
He's hiding in a radio station to do a radio show.
I'm just running Astros right now, so but soon enough I'll be doing Coast to Coast AM.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
What's the status of the Astros game? How they been doing?
They've been struggling. They lost. They got swept by the Oakland A's, and they're currently tied 2-2 with the Seattle Mariners.
Well, the
Yeah,
Astros might suck, but Justin Verlander's doing awesome.
yeah, he's probably gonna win the Cy Young. He'll be starting tomorrow. He'll be on the mound tomorrow. So
Must see
But,
JV, man. We sure miss him. Miss him in Detroit. Like I'm a big
Yeah,
big Tigers fan, and boy, we sure love him.
the news director here is from Detroit too, so he's a big Tigers fan. So
Nice.
yeah, but yeah, he's an all-time talent. So he's really good.
Well, I got
But-
to meet him up in church here in Churchill, actually, of all places. He was up here with his wife Kate Upton for to see the polar bears and stuff like that. And I was lucky enough to be one of the logistics people, so I got to go pick him up from the airport. It was the most surreal thing. 2 days after he lost in Game 7 of the 2019 World Series, he was in Churchill, Manitoba, of all
Yeah.
places. So it's just absolutely incredible to host a guy like that, like one of my favorite ball players of all time, in my little town of 800 people. Just unreal. Sorry to hijack the segment here, Joey, but I get talking about Verlander, I go crazy.
Well, it's not hijacking. So the Astros are going toe to toe with the dumpster teams right now. Did you catch the Blue Jays over the last week at all, Trey?
They got hot, yeah. They've been on fire. They lost yesterday, I think, but they scored 28 runs the other day against the Boston Red Sox. So they've been on fire.
Last week, Friday, I just thought, like, well, maybe I'll just check in the game and see what's going on. And I'm like, whoa.
Well,
Yeah, maybe I'll sit and watch this for a bit. Like,
well, they beat Detroit today. Like, they just started a series with the Tigers today, and the Blue Jays took Game 1. And I always hear it from all my buddies, because up here, Blue Jays fans everywhere you look, except for me. So I'm a bit of an outcast, one might say. So it's but listen, I don't like the Blue Jays, but I don't like the Red Sox a lot more. So fill your boots, man. You should have scored 56 runs against them. I would have loved that.
Yeah, that was the highest amount of runs the Blue Jays have ever scored. The most runs in a game was 30 when I think it was the Texas Rangers scored.
That's
30.
right. They put up 30. They put up 30, and it might have been against the A's. I'm trying to
it was
remember.
either against the A's or the Orioles.
Oh, it was against the Orioles. It was totally against the Orioles.
My
Good
favorite
call.
part of that, I posted a meme that night while the game was going in. I said, I found a picture of the most expensive tickets being sold for that Red Sox game. And there's Red Sox fans that paid $1,500 US to see the Jays score 28 runs. And that made me particularly happy, just knowing someone blew that much money.
Yeah.
Well, we still have you, Trey. How's the weather in Texas?
The weather's it was raining yesterday. It was really hot and muggy and it rained. I think there's been a lot of sunshine today though. It was a pretty day, a little bit of cloud cover, but yesterday was a disaster. It was raining and then it was hot and sunny, but it stayed hot for the whole time. That was really the only constant. But it's been better now. So
That's pretty in depth, buddy. That's pretty in depth. If I know you're working, so it'd be awesome before the hour's out to hear more from you. But I know you're keeping your eye on the game there. So very cool to see you always, though, Trey.
for sure,
so
yeah.
awesome.
I'll stick around. I'll keep it in mute, but I'll stick around.
Awesome, buddy.
You're
Awesome.
gonna work.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
He's usually our second in line here for we delay him sometimes a little bit. Brandon Houck. It's been hot. There's thunderstorms going on right now in British Columbia. There's going to be more tomorrow. That's probably the day that I'm most concerned about. But we have a nice pre-show going on right now. 4, 5, 6 cells popping in southern BC. It's really hot in Alberta.
Well, I'll tell you about last weekend here. Last Friday, actually, we had a pretty good crackle and thunderstorm out here. And actually, I don't think it came in severe limits, but it put out a pretty good couple of lightning strikes nearby. One at least 1 kilometer away from my location here, and it just rattled the place. So that was a whole Houck. That was a whole Houck of fun here. As we see, this is what happens before you go on vacation. You just say random words all of a sudden. That's why I need a vacation. So, yeah, I have vacation starting in 1 day, so I'm looking forward to it. Now, as we go into today, we've had the heat warnings that draped across the province. We even have a pretty nasty little thunderstorm going through the Fort McMurray area that's moving off towards northern Saskatchewan. The heat's going to stick around as we go through the long weekend, especially for southern portions of the province. For areas in central northern regions of the province of Alberta, it's going to get quite stormy over the next few days. We get a round of thunderstorms moving in for tomorrow, and that could potentially could be there for severe weather, especially along the foothills. And we'll have to watch those storms as they drift east towards our neck of the woods. Looks like probably just after sundown tomorrow, looks like we'll see some storms move through Brooks again. So it could be a wild at night tomorrow night. So that's a good thing I'm going on holidays because yeah, I'll probably pull an all-nighter tomorrow night with these storms rolling through the southern portions of the province. So that's going to be tomorrow night, and we're going to see one of our hottest days in the next couple of days. We'll be up to about 35 tomorrow, and some areas with that little bit of instability. You got the easterly flow, you get the moisture pooling up and down the foothills. So that will mean the potential could be there for those storms to really begin to fire off here. Now, as we go through Sunday here, we will see the temperatures cool off just a little bit. And then, look at this. Another round of storms come in as we go into late Saturday afternoon. Some of those thunderstorms could be severe, and we have that big valley jamboree going on in Camrose. So we will likely be dealing with at least a couple of rounds of storms. So if anybody's going out to the big valley jamboree this weekend, you will be encountering storms. So make sure you have a way to receive weather alerts if you're in that area as the storms drift through. Now the heat cranks back up again as we go into the beginning of next week. So I think we could be as hot as 37, humidex near 40 by Monday, and then we get yet another round of storms Sunday, Monday, even into Tuesday next week. So we get multiple days of storms. And then by the end of next week, we get a big pattern change with the low pressure system moving in for the prairies. We got to keep it on this low. It wants to produce wind gusts of 100 kilometers an hour, as well as heavy rains, some significant amount of rain, and a much cooler air mass with temperatures dropping back to the teens by the end of next week. And even into British Columbia, we'll see a big cool down as well. So after a fairly hot couple of days ahead of us, we'll see a big change in the weather pattern late next week. And then afterwards, we're not quite sure because I haven't really looked that far in the future yet because I'm going to be gone next week. So
you're on vacation. The weather just stops.
Yeah, it stops.
Certainly, at 3:30 today, BC government put out this public service announcement that Brandon and I were talking about pre-show. Be prepared for risk of wildfires over the long weekend. Sustained high temperatures throughout British Columbia this week are increasing the potential for wildfires. Residents, travelers, campers, be prepared for wildfire and heat. To have an emergency plan, stay informed as conditions change. BC Wildfire Service is monitoring these changing conditions and making necessary preparations with strategic aviation and crew placements. Of note is the potential for widespread lightning when the current weather pattern changes. So that's certainly what is in the cards tomorrow, especially. We're not necessarily talking about severe storms, but we're talking about storms that could trigger lightning. Right now, most of them are riding around in the hilltops in BC.
Hi, Joey Only. Hi, Joey Only.
I'm doing good so far. I'm Frank MacDonald. You're listening to Meteorological, Comedian Meteorological Weather Report on every Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time. Go check it out on Joey Only Caribou Weather, do a Comedian Meteorological Weather Report on his YouTube channel. And it's on the Prince George radio station, Winnipeg radio station, Vancouver radio station. Go check it out. Joey Only show every Thursday night. Comedian Meteorological Weather Report, Caribou Weather, dude.
Check it out.
See you on Thursday.
We got so many people still to talk to. Imogen, how hot is it down in Victoria right now?
Oh, it's hot as balls, man. It sucks here.
It's terrible. That's it. Bright, sunny, burning. Everything's uncomfortable. Everyone's miserable. Everything is damp because everyone's just sweating. Dehydration is rampant. It's not nice. I like winter. I mean, obviously there's some fun to be had in the sun, but still, it is very, very hot is what I'm getting at.
Would you say it's time to panic?
No, just, I mean, the culture of Victoria is very whiny, so it's time to just level up on the complaining and focus on something real, such as the dehydration, possible heat stroke, and all the dangers that come with excessive sun exposure. So that's what's about to be happening, or probably is if I spoke to anyone in the real world. So there we are. It sucks. Whiners are going to level up on the whining.
I didn't realize you had that Eye Horse tattoo on your arm.
Did they realize what?
You have the Eye Horse tattoo on your arm.
Yes, sir, I do. I've had that for
That's
a very long time.
My buddy and my internet buddy out in Chicago, playing for CTG, he has the same tattoo on his chest.
Very cool.
I used to be all into that Egyptian mythology stuff.
It
Very
is
cool.
an incredibly common one. I see it all the time. I love it. As far as being a cliche goes, that's one that I have fun with.
How are you? Hello, how
Say
you
hi,
doing?
Joey Only.
Joey Ollie?
Yeah, Joey Only.
Joey Only, there we go.
How you
Hey,
doing,
buddy.
I'm doing great so far, Joey. I'm Frank Down. You're listening to Comedian Meteorological Weather Report, Caribou Weather Do, Comedian Plus Meteorology, Comedian Meteorological Weather Report on every Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Atlantic Time. Joey Only is located in Wells, British Columbia, Canada. Is on YouTube every Thursday night, 11 p.m. Atlantic Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Time. Check it out on Comedian Meteorological Caribou Weather Dude on YouTube. I'm Frankie Down.
There's been some really significant thunderstorms that went through southern Ontario this weekend past, last Sunday. My hometown and areas nearby, Madoc, Caladar, Actinolite, Marmora, saw pretty destructive weather. And we did find that there were tornadoes, so that was confirmed. I don't think that was anywhere real close to where you were, Gabriel, but maybe you got a bit of an eye on what happened in Ontario nonetheless.
Could have been much worse, right? I mean, we have had a lot of clouds throughout, like, you know, more than, of course, half of the day on Sunday, and I mean, hey, we got up some pretty good energy for these storms. So I mean, we just you know, got some pretty decent storms here. Lots of course, lightning on these. Since that, there was a lot of moisture. We had like a whole entire lot of, you know, rain with these two.
We had tornadoes go through. I'm not exactly sure how many. Maybe Brandon knows.
Actonolite, I think.
And
Actonolite, Ontario, somewhere there.
Very.
Mark was
That's
there
basically where I grew up. So I'm like calling my mom, trying to get, you know, are you okay? What's going on? So getting no answer. Calling again. My cousin. Hey, I'm talking. I'm getting my cousin to call her, and then. She's not answering, so that maybe Ashley go take a drive up there and see what's going on. And so she drives up to Cooper Road, gets to Cooper, and you know, car's there, but she's not. Well, that's interesting. And then I remember she's got a camper
What's going on in Ukraine?
She was 1 second, Frankie. So finally we found out the next day that she was camping on some lake a ways north of and had no idea how bad the storm damage was. And she was somewhere without cell service. So everyone's trying to get a hold of her. But, you know, at least the house is fine. Everyone's fine. No one got hurt. No one damaged. No injuries from the storm. So did you catch any details on the tornadoes, Brandon?
EF1, I think. I think that he will say that. EF1. I think it was an EF1, right, Brandon?
EF1 looks like possibly close to EF2 damage, but at least EF1 damage. And then we had another tornado the day before in Quebec that was definitely EF2 damage there. So that was kind of north. I'd say northeast of Montreal, somewhere in there, or northwest of Montreal. Yeah.
this is the storm damage on Highway 7 west of Calidar in the Tweed area from a storm several days ago.
Heading into next week, everybody is talking about the heat, and then of course it's heading here. Toronto, heat wave. Always, of course, it's so, humid outside, muggy, moist, sticky. Be in the 30s, feeling into the 40s. One of the weather models even actually have about are actually of course showing about 30 I think 7 or maybe even 30 8. I of course highly doubt that will happen. Probably of course we'll get to maybe like 33 to 36 maybe in summer. But I mean, hey, heat wave heading into next week, and there will be somebody with a jacket on, of course, there's these weird people here. Sometimes they be wearing all these jackets and pants and 30 Celsius. I'm like, what? What are these people even doing right now with their lives? Wearing
what's 30 Celsius in Fahrenheit? What's 30 Celsius in Fahrenheit?
Probably 90s. Probably 90s. 90s. Yeah, it's
jackets and pants in the 90s.
Man's not hot, GB. Man's not hot.
Yeah.
I think we're touching 30 degrees Celsius here in Wells today. It's one of the nice things about living a little bit further north and living 4,000 feet up in the mountains is it's not quite so hot here. And we're enjoying it down by the beach, having a good old time. And we call it the Y here. When I say we're going to the Y, people who aren't from Wells say, you have a YMCA in Wells? No, it's where the two creeks meet, silly. It makes a Y.
Say hi, Joey only. Say hi, Joey only. I'm Frankie MacDonald. You're listening to Comedian Robert's Weather Report. Terrible weather news. On every Thursday night on Terrible Weather News, Joey only YouTube channel at 11 p.m. Atlantic time and 7 p.m. Pacific time every Thursday night. Go check it out. Terrible Weather News, Comedian Robert's Weather Report, Joey only every Thursday night. Check it out. Terrible Weather News, Joey only. And on his YouTube channel, and the Prince George radio station, Winnipeg radio station, Galanko radio station. Check it out. See you soon. Hey Pete, what about Ukraine? What's going on there?
I talked to Michael, and he's doing well, and what he's working on right now, part of it is batteries for electric vehicles, because a lot of their gasoline infrastructure was bombed by the Russians. So just out of practicality, necessity to keep things moving, they need more electric vehicle infrastructure there. And he's looking forward to the future as well. He said he wants to make a fortune and just learn how to play the guitar after the war is over, and retire is what his plans are. But in the meantime, he's just trying to help out with the getting transport stuff going in an economical way, because the gas prices have increased due to the conflict there. And then he's also looking forward to the future, doing business again in Asia. He has a good business model, so a lot of good stuff.
Currently, the hottest place in Canada. It's 7:30 right now here in British Columbia in the evening. Currently, the hottest place, 38.4 degrees in Lillooet, British Columbia.
Wow.
So that's down where when I be taking my new job soon and be spending more time in Ashcroft, Cache Creek, I'll be in a much hotter place than I'm used to. That's for sure. I'll be having a hard time dealing with that. It's nice being up here in the mountains. We're hitting 30 today. We're like, woo, that's a hot day. That's pretty normal in a summertime for Lillooet to get 38-degree days.
What about Trey Campbell in Houston, Texas? Is there going to be a lot of hurricanes late August and September, Trey?
I hope not. I sure hope not. But I don't know. Yeah, I sure hope not, Frankie. I'm not real sure, but
So
you're
much
more of
dry,
an
dusty air
than I
coming all
am.
the way from Sahara Desert in Africa. So much dry, dusty air traveling all the way from Egypt, Libya, Algeria, Morocco. Driving dry, dusty air driving all the way from Sahara Desert all the way to Caribbean and Florida.
And sometimes people shoot at hurricanes, Frankie, with their guns. Do you suggest people shoot at the hurricanes? Will it do anything?
I can't do anything.
We've had suggestions though on ways to blow up the hurricanes, go to the
It
eye of the
won't work.
storm.
You can't nuke one. It won't
I
work.
like that rationale.
Once
Most
Are
things
you
in life
sure?
can be solved with explosives. So
Yeah,
yeah,
are you
it won't
sure?
work.
It won't work.
Once
We
again,
got
the
a
month
bunch of
October,
Scud missiles we can shoot at it.
once October rolls
Goodness.
around, that means they'll be first round in the Major League Baseball playoffs.
Well, that's
Baseball.
seems, I guess.
Then
Yeah.
the best of three. First round will be best of 3. Second round will be best of 5. And the league championship will be best of 7. And the World Series will be best of 7 as well.
Who's gonna win the World Series, Frankie?
Don't say Blue Jays. Don't you say it.
That means Blue Jays might make the wild card this fall.
Yes.
Yeah, they're looking like it. But who's gonna win the World Series, Frankie? That's the
Long
question.
ways off yet.
You don't know yet?
Could be the Blue Jays, right, Frankie? They've done it before.
Chance
Yeah,
of
like
it.
a million years ago.
Yeah,
If it's not-
I was not born.
If it's
it
not
was
a
a-
properly curated prediction, then it's just not right. He's got to
Yeah,
go through his process. He can't just guess. Frankie's way. We know this.
Yeah, Frankie's got to do the research. He's got to do his own research.
Well, he's the guy producing a Houston Astros radio broadcast right now. So I'm going to ask you, 1,132,078. Who do you think is going to win the World Series?
That means
Go
could be
ahead,
the
Frankie.
Braves.
You saying the Braves are gonna win the World Series? That makes sense. I'm gonna go with the Yankees. The Yankees are winning the World Series this year.
They're going to be hard to stop, Trey.
I almost hit the mute button.
I understand, you know, the AL East, it's tough. Yankees, yeah, they can buy whoever they want, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, you gotta pull up your bootstraps and just do your best. And, you know, maybe you guys will win a World Series in 2192. Maybe. I think maybe you guys got a good shot.
The Blue
That's when
Jays
the
have
Leafs
got,
win. That's when the
they've got
Leafs win.
pound for pound, they've got one of the best lineups in baseball, but I don't know if they have the rotational pieces to win the title. Kevin Gausman has been a bit of a disappointment this year, and Alek Manoah has been really good, but I don't know. It seems like their rotation, their frontline pitching doesn't seem to hold up against the Yankees or the Astros.
No, and it seems that Charlie Montoyo paid the price.
Yeah, he got sent to the gulag. They sent him to the unemployment line.
He's such a nice guy.
Which I was kind of surprised, you know, like, listen, I make no bones about that. I'm not a Jays fan, but I can see things objectively. And I thought they did him dirty. Like, I thought the lineup was good enough. I thought he was getting the people motivated that were supposed to be motivated. They've been playing good ball. So I don't know. It was weird that they put the blame on him, and so weird that they did it even before the trade deadline and in the middle of the season. It's very odd.
I would have figured they'd at least give him a chance to get closer to the playoffs, but
yeah.
But they decided it was best to go in a different direction. I bet they'll go get Gibbons back or something, or they'll get some sort of retread.
They've done that before. Yeah, they'll probably call Cito Gaston and see what he's doing.
Yeah. Like, hey, are you alive, Cito Gaston?
I think he's still alive, but he's got to be. Jeez, like he was an old man when they won the World Series.
No, he was like in his 50s.
Yeah, like I said, old man.
Hey Joel, over in Russia, KHL hockey starts on September 1st.
Yeah, they're in preseason now, eh?
Let's say hi Joey Oli. Hi Joey Oli. I'm Frankie MacDonald. You're listening to Comedeorological weather report here. Terrible Weather Dude, every Thursday night at 11 p.m. Atlantic time, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Check it out, Terrible Weather Dude, Joey Only, comedian plus meteorologist on Joey Only's YouTube channel. Joey Only's from Wales, British Columbia, Canada. He's a comedian, Terrible Weather Dude, comedian, meteorological weather guy. I'm Frankie MacDonald, you're listening to Joey Only Show.
Yeah, let's go.
How hot is it in Churchill, Manitoba, Joe?
It's hot. It's 23 degrees, and it's 9:30 p.m. on a Thursday. The hot spot in Manitoba right now is about 240-ish kilometers to our west. It would be Tuduli Lake. They're sitting at about 25 right now, and the cold spot in Manitoba is Sprague in the very bottom east corner of Manitoba, and they're sitting about 14 right now. So makes me kind of wish I was in Sprague. I've made, again, no bones about how much I'm not a fan of the summer, but I can't really complain too much about today because it's the first day that it's been over 20 degrees here in Churchill in about a week and a half. So for the last week and a half, it's been sitting around, 6, 7, 8 degrees. Raining, and if it wasn't raining, it's gray. The bugs are gone. I'm happy. My dog Baker is happy. So even though it's sitting at about 23 right now, I do realize it's almost the end of July. We're not going to have these temperatures for very much longer, and you will have a very happy Joe Stover once you start seeing the leaves start to change color and the snow start to fall. I know that's Frankie's favorite weather too. So,
and I want it way much colder than that.
Tell me this, Frankie. I've always wanted to know, what is your favorite temperature? What is a perfect temperature?
180 degrees.
180?
How could you even live? How could you even live in that? Celsius, right, Frankie? 150 degrees minus 150, or minus 180.
180 Celsius. We're not talking about Fahrenheit. We're not talking Kelvin. You're specifically Celsius.
So how could you start your car?
Does it get that cold anywhere, Frankie?
The coldest place ever in the world is Russian Antarctic research stations and full stock over in Antarctica. I got something else to say. I got big news for you. They're getting rid of the Russians off the International Space Station by 2025. That's what they said.
Yeah, they're going to make their own space station, they say.
Wow.
What about the Russians in Antarctic research stations? You have to get the Russians at a South Pole station as well. You have to get the Russian scientists separate from Americans in Antarctic research stations as well.
Did you see what Chris Hadfield tweeted about the Russians saying that they're going to leave the International Space Station in 2024? He said, "Let's not forget that the Russians' favorite game is chess." So we shall see. And I do mean the Russian government. I will not rope the Russian people in.
There's
a
really good Netflix series
clear
about how the Russians like chess, but it's about a girl from an orphanage that ends up beating the Russians in chess. I forgot what it was called, but it was a really good series.
That's not the Queen's Gambit?
The Queen's Gambit, yeah. That show is a trip. I like that one.
There's a wild story from this.
Rocks.
Robot was playing chess with this kid and it broke its finger, the kid's finger.
In China, right?
I think it was Russia or China.
Oh, was it Russia? I think it was. I'm trying to remember what it was, but yeah, it totally like broke the 7-year-old's finger, and so then they whisked the kid away, and then the kid came back the next day with his finger in a splint and kept on playing these computers.
That's a smart robot. It's figured out how to win.
By any means possible.
It's like I don't need to play this game. I just need to break the kid's arm off. I'm a robot.
Must destroy arm. Checkmate.
I can put my arm back on, but you can't.
What was that? Astro.
The War Amps robot that did all the gymnastics through. Yeah. She was the sci-fi robot doing aerial gymnastics clear through the factory with all the saw blades and things blowing up and fire and sparks everywhere.
We're all watching our little black and white TVs. Whoa.
I'm Astro. I can take my arm off. You can't. So play
I can
safe.
put my arm back on. You can't.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
Play safe.
Oh, I was gonna ask you
Or
earlier,
ants.
Brandon,
A-Star. A-Star was the name of the it was A-Star the robot. Astro is like, Astro Boy, Astro Boy.
I couldn't stand Astro Boy when I was a little kid.
Yeah, he was
because
kind
I
of
only had two channels, and it's like that's the cartoons I had to watch. It was like Inspector Gadget and Astro Boy for years.
He was kind of a twerp, Astro Boy, but I did like Inspector Gadget. He meant well.
Gadget was cool. An idiot, but he was cool.
Well, Inspector Gadget comes from Don Adams, right? He comes from Get Smart.
Yep.
Inspector Gadget was
No. This message will self-destruct. Don't worry, Chief. I'm on the way.
Does everybody like the Steve Carell version of that?
I did like it.
I
it
did
was quite
too.
funny.
It was. I thought it was great.
And I also really liked the reboot Three Stooges movie that came out 10 years ago. It's not given enough credit.
Who
played the underappreciated currently anyway. Their classic awesomeness, it still lives
Wasn't
on.
Jane
Yuck,
Lynch
yuck,
in that
yuck
movie
is a common
too?
phrase in my workplace.
Jane Lynch is in every movie, Trey Campbell.
Yeah,
It's three guys that like look and sound just like them. It's amazing. Of course, you don't know them from any other movie because guys who look and sound just like the Three Stooges don't play in a lot of big movies. It's like he wasn't in, wasn't like Brad Pitt and the guy from the Three Stooges movie. Top Gun 2, Tom Cruise and Curly.
Yeah,
Nonetheless.
I don't think he'd fit in. I think.
Nonetheless,
I think
they
Tom
were
Cruise-
really, the guys who played these Three Stooges were really good Stooges. It was amazing.
I think Tom Cruise would be incredibly insulted if he was asked to play one of the Three Stooges.
Yeah, I don't think he'd like
He might surprise us. It might turn out that he's actually a fan, and it's the kind of thing he would actually get a kick out of doing. I mean, did we picture him as an action guy before John Woo saw that in him?
I don't
Yeah,
know. Are
that's
the
a
Three
good-
Stooges Scientologists?
Yeah, that's a good point. Ever since Top Gun, though, they kind of just figured him as one type of role, and it's just flying airplanes or like, Mission Impossible stuff.
Well,
And he was also a race car driver.
I'm going to say this about Tom Cruise / the Top Gun series. I've never seen Top Gun. I have never seen the movie Top Gun. So when Top Gun 2 came out, it's true. It's just never come up. I was never like purposely avoiding it. It just never came up. So then
I'm too cool for Top Gun. I'm Joe Stover.
No, but listen, you gotta let me finish, Joey.
Okay.
The theater here in Churchill finally, after years of renovation / COVID, it finally opened back up, and the first movie that they showed last weekend was Top Gun 2 Maverick. And I make it a habit to go to every single movie that comes through the theater here because it's a very much a support local, use it or lose it type thing. So I was like, well, whatever. I'm going to go and see Top Gun 2. Should I watch Top Gun first? Nah, like whatever. Like I'm just going to go to the movie, eat some popcorn, have a good time.
How did you know what was going on?
Well, I mean, like they do a pretty good job in the movie of kind of like setting stuff up from the movie before, which I now
don't think
have
it really
to see.
matters. It's a movie about planes shooting planes.
But I was completely blown away. I loved it. I absolutely loved that movie, and so now I'm trying to find time because I'm also going on vacation too tomorrow. Brandon Houck. I'm going down to Thunder Bay for a wedding, so I got about 10 days before I have to come back to Churchill to work. And in one of those 10 days, I'm going to sit down and watch Top Gun because I can't believe I'm 40 now. I've been missing out. So Top Gun it is. Loved it. I absolutely loved it.
I can't believe how you're on vacation every 2 weeks, Joe. It's awesome. You got the life figured out.
The guy who
I wouldn't go
directed
that far.
Top Gun 2 also directed the second Tron. Anytime they make like old school rehash sequels, they call this guy. Because he directed the second Tron and this one, Top Gun Maverick.
I didn't even see the first Tron, and I saw the
I
second
didn't
Tron,
either.
and I loved it.
It has highlights. Soundtrack had highlights, that's for sure.
Didn't the Tron? I liked the first Tron. I bought a shirt that had Tron on it, and I thought more people would wear the Tron shirt, but it was just me, and I didn't fit in at all.
What's your favorite movie, Frankie?
I like 2012. It's like the end of the world movie.
Ooh, that's a cool
Really?
one.
That doesn't surprise me. I think you've mentioned that before, Frankie, that you
What about
2012 is your
Godzilla,
favorite.
King of the Monsters.
Is that the one with Paperboy from Atlanta in it?
I have no
Kids
idea
are
what you're
going
talking
back
about.
to school in Atlanta, Georgia, and Savannah, Georgia on Monday.
Right.
Yeah, they go to school pretty early, eh, Frankie?
Godzilla and Mothra was pretty cool. Of the Godzilla series, the one with Mothra was definitely one of my favorites. Mothra was a pretty awesome character.
Yeah, that's the
He
one that was like,
also the boss in Zelda video games.
and they had the three-headed dragon, Ghidorah, King Ghidorah.
Ghidorah was pretty decent as well. Mothra was the one that had the weird little the tiny little miniature singing girls in it that were like controlling Mothra or something. It's been a while since I've seen it, but that was that one.
No, I'm talking about the new one, the new Godzilla, King of the Monsters that came out like 5 years ago or something. It's awesome.
That was 2019.
Yeah, Frankie knows what I'm talking about.
Frankie knows.
Yeah,
Pete,
he does.
Pete, you're a bit of a cinephile too, Pete. What old movie do you remember really enjoying when you were a youngster? Or heck, even
what is
you
it
being
called?
a youngster now.
Not necessarily one from I was a youngster. I need to remember the name of it. Give me a second.
All right. What about you, Brandon Houck? What kind of movies does the Houkster dig?
Well, I really like Twister. I was also
I knew it. Me too.
and Jurassic Park and Indiana Jones movies. I was really into those as well for some reason. But and then I've also watched a lot of dumb movies too.
Twister's cool, man. I love that movie. We got debris.
Debris.
I gotta go. We got
We're No Angels. 1955, We're No Angels. That movie is top
of the
tier.
heap. Top of the heap. Top shelf.
Top shelf. If any of y'all haven't seen that, 1955, baby. 1955, We're No Angels.
Wow, where did you end up watching that? Like, how did that become a movie that you really enjoy?
My parents suggested it to me a while back, and I really liked it. It's a really well made movie, especially from that time period, and it is slightly Christmas themed. But it's about the convicts, and I don't know if they were just released from prison or escaped from prison, and then they start working at some store, and it is really cool. It's a good movie.
Pete watching movies from 1955.
There's all sorts of morbid serendipity in that movie, sort of like how there was in the first seasons of Ozarks and that sort of thing. But it's not like that. But there's it's a really good movie. It's a classic film.
There's a couple of old movies I really like The Great Escape. Can't get much better than The Great Escape.
What about old horror movies? I didn't watch a lot of old movies growing up, other than Bridge on the River Kwai. My dad really liked that, so I watched that a bunch. But he was also really into Night of the Living Dead and Premature Burial and stuff like that. We watched Premature Burial when my mom was out of town, and my mom gave him heck for it big time because I didn't sleep for 2 days. It was the most nightmarish thing I'd ever seen in my life. I haven't seen it since. I'm waiting to conquer my fear and watch Premature Burial again and see if I can make it through the night without crying or crawling into bed with my parents.
My life of watching horror movies and generally appreciating metal, morbid things. I saw the original Night of the Living Dead in 1988 when I was, quite young, and thought I wasn't too shocked by it. To be honest, I think the first thing that ever really scared me was Michael Jackson's Thriller when I happened to see that when it first came out when I was quite young, and nothing's actually ever scared me since.
Love Thriller. Love Thriller.
It was so brilliantly done. Like the makeup on it was just, it was really good makeup, the choreography, the whole thing, the directing, it was brilliant.
So good.
Yeah.
Whole album.
Gave me nightmares. I was just a wee kid.
And they had the best part about
Just
it
a
too
wee lad.
is the the guy, not Alfred Hitchcock. Who is the guy that was like darkness falls across the land?
Vincent Price.
Thank you. That I was like I was trying to figure out. Yeah.
Yeah.
The evil of the thriller.
He actually had a second verse for that part there, but it didn't really, the song ended up being too long and it didn't quite fit, so they kept it down to just one. But there was a second verse for that written. And on the, I think it's the 25th anniversary release of the album, they have they have some bonuses on there, and they actually talk about that, and they have, if I remember right, they actually played the recording, Vincent Price's recording of that second part. Very cool to look up.
Still lightning going on at this hour, southern British Columbia.
That means we have to get the Russians out of Antarctic research stations like the South Pole Station, and Russia has to find their own because they have to separate from Americans, Norwegians, and British and Australians.
Oh, go
What's
ahead.
going to happen if Russia makes their own space station, Frankie?
Russians will no longer go to the International Space Station.
Do they have the money to make their own space station, Frankie?
China and Russia probably team up.
Yeah, that's not a good...
People should be aware of that sort of thing because if there are weaponized satellites and people got it first and can nuke from space, the world could be on lock.
Thank God we got the Space Force.
Well, we have to rename.
Space Force started already, so I honestly, that's the real space race there. Is like, because if there was but it is kind of concerning if only one power was had full control over all of that, because that's too much power.
We could really see up your nose.
It'd be a lot of leverage. There's a lot of
will we have to change the name of the International Space Station to be like the almost International Space Station?
No, there's still a bunch of countries that are not just Russia that help out, like Canada and Italy and France, and like there's still a lot of different partners on that international.
So mostly International Space Station.
Well, for what it's worth, Russia did build and launch Mir. Mir was one of the first ones that maintained low orbit. And there were international crew members on there, but Russia had effectively built and launched that one. So they've been a major player in space exploration for a really, really long time.
Oh, well, I mean, they were the first one to launch a satellite, first ones to launch a cosmonaut into orbit.
In space. First dog.
First dog in space, absolutely.
Scary enough, earlier this year, North Korea launched a missile test that reached an altitude that was near orbital altitude. So that's scary.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's...
thank goodness I live on the Earth.
Yeah, suborbital flights are all...
Hey, Joey, a couple of my fans made a cameo appearance on your show.
Yeah, where are they?
Those two girls, they're a fan of mine watching my videos.
The ones last week, you mean?
Just now.
Yeah, there was
I didn't see them.
By, yeah.
Oh, I was trying to get everyone to stop, and we missed it. We missed it. There was girls, and we missed it.
Missed the launch. Missed the launch window.
Here in our sausage party minus Imogen show.
Oh, come on. I'm swinging mad baloney everywhere I go. We all know this.
The girls walk by, but everyone's too busy talking about space.
Well, yeah, we're nerds.
Love space. Let's talk more about space.
Over in Russia, they're separating Russians from the International Space Station.
So they say.
So the dog that Russia launched into space, her name was Laika.
Laika.
Yeah. There's a statue of Laika in Russia. Don't even ask me what city. I don't remember.
Didn't she die?
She
Yeah,
did die.
Yeah.
They did not have a reentry plan, and so it was oxygen depletion. If I remember right, was what was officially what it was.
Same with the monkeys that the Americans launched, including my namesake, Joe the chimp.
Aw.
Well, he wasn't my
Oh
namesake,
my
but
God! There's a monkeypox
Joe Club.
arrived in Nova Scotia.
The monkeypox. Get indoors, Frankie. So do you think like we
The
sent a
ladies
monkey
all
up?
over Frankie. You gotta be careful, Frankie. I know the ladies are all over you all the time. Don't get no monkeypox.
So the Russians send a dog up, and then we send a monkey up. That's like when the arms race really began, because we all know that monkeys can kill dogs.
And I got something to say. Monkeypox could even reach Antarctic research stations this winter coming.
Oh, the penguins have to be careful.
They having orgies up there?
Yes, they are. It's penguins, man.
Penguin pox.
I still don't even know what a monkeypox is.
Penguin pile.
Boxing was not much to do for a long enough time. It happens.
Oh boy, I fear this is a slippery
I heard.
slope.
I got something to say. Those monkeypox is currently isolated from the rest of society in my province in Nova Scotia. They're isolating.
Don't spread the monkeypox. You've been listening to the Comedeorological Report on CFUR 88.7 FM, CKUW 95.9 FM, Prince George, Winnipeg. Yeah, it's been kind of a chaotic show, but that's what we sort of do. That's part of the show. I'm Joey Only, the host. We've been here with Joe Stover, Pete Galanko down in Virginia, not in Virginia anymore. Pete Galanko's in Colorado. Gabriel Berardo was in Ontario, but he's not here with us now. He's gone to bed. And we got Trey Campbell. He's down in producing the Houston Astro ball game right now. He's sitting there right in radio studio.
Don't tell us
his head down. Yeah, there's like guys walking by and he's ducking his head down. He's like, I'm working on the Astros. I'm not talking with Frankie and friends. And Brandon Houck, who's not working on the radio, he goes on holidays tomorrow. Tomorrow morning's his last broadcast at 105.7 FM Brooks, Alberta. Imogen Bailey, she's on the radio. The rest of us have faces for radio. Imogen does not. Frankie, how does everyone find you on the internet?
My Twitter is at Frankie McD. My Facebook is Frankendown. My Instagram is Frankie MacD 1984. My TikTok is Frankendown 1984. My Clapper is Frankendown 1984. My Snapchat is Frankendown 1984. My Snapchat is Frankie MacDon, and my LinkedIn is Frankie MacDonald. And my Twitch is Frankendown 1984. And my YouTube channel is Dogs and Wolves. I got something else to say. It might have to close international borders down again for monkeypox. Might have to close a state or province borders down in each country around the world, even Antarctica, even up in space.
We have to close the whole world down. Don't come to Earth, aliens. We got diseases. Haven't you seen War of the Worlds?
That's who we're closing off Earth from. That's how we're closing off space for aliens, not for the astronauts. The only 8 people in the world free of infection. Come on. No.
Well, that's what would really happen. The alien would get in Sigourney Weaver's face. He'd be like, and then she'd sneeze, and then it'd be like, and die of our human filth that we have. Thanks for listening to the show. We'll see you next week, everybody. We love you very much. Bye-bye now.
Bye.